Your reaction to what went down in Carter's ejection?
Utterly disgusted. Utterly disgusted. It's inexcusable. And, you Jalen Carter, first of all, he should have been ejected. Secondly, I think he should be suspended for at least one game. You don't spit on anybody. You don't spit on a man. That's number one. Number two.
Or a woman.
Of course. But I'm just talking about football players on the field, obviously. Obviously, then you think about it. Who's the most protected football player on the field? It's the quarterback. You spit on Dak Prescott? You don't think somebody...
Picture this. Dak Prescott, America's quarterback, isn't trending for touchdowns anymore. Oh no, he's trending for something straight out of a middle school cafeteria fight. Dak's name just got dragged into what fans are calling the spit storm of the season, and it's got Jalen Carter from the Eagles right in the crossfire. The NFL drama meter didn't just rise, it exploded. Forget highlight reels and game-winning drives. This saga's serving up full-blown chaos with a side of rivalry and suspension talk. The Cowboys-Eagles feud has always been wild, but this is next level. It's no longer football, it's a daytime soap opera with helmets. Fans came for touchdowns and left with drama about spit trajectories and sideline shade. Dak Prescott, the clean-cut poster boy who always looks like he's about to say golly gee in interviews, suddenly became the face of the most bizarre headline of the year. And it's not for throwing a dime across the field. It's for allegedly launching something a little more personal toward Jalen Carter. Now, this matchup never needed extra spice. It's already a full-course meal of madness. It's Texas BBQ versus Philly cheesesteaks, cowboy hats versus greasy bell peppers, and fans competing to see who can boo louder, especially at Santa Claus.
Know who Jalen Carter really is, you would not be surprised by this spitting incident. This is the same person who was supposed to go #1 overall as a defensive tackle, which rarely happens, but instead of being focused and getting his work done, was in a street race with his teammate, which resulted in his teammate and a recruiting analyst.
But apparently, Dak decided to toss in his own secret ingredient, and let's just say it wasn't Gatorade. The chaos started mid-game when emotions were boiling hotter than a Thanksgiving fryer. Both teams were swinging like someone insulted their moms. The trenches turned into a demolition derby, pads smashing, words flying, and suddenly, bam! The cameras catch what looks suspiciously like Dak letting out a spray in Carter's direction. Fans froze, commentators gasped, and Twitter lost its mind instantly. Whether it was accidental or intentional, it didn't matter. The clip went viral faster than a touchdown replay, and just like that, the league had its newest scandal. The internet didn't even wait for the replay. It detonated on impact.
Possible thing. And if you're Jalen Carter, I want to look in the camera. I want one of my ISO shots. Let me be Stephen A here. Let me say this to Jalen Carter.
Within seconds, half of Twitter turned into slow-motion detectives, breaking down every frame like it was the Zapruder film of football. Enhance that clip became the battle cry as fans zoomed, cropped, and paused like the truth depended on it. People were arguing mouth angles, droplet velocity, and stadium wind speed like this was a NASA simulation gone wrong. Cowboys fans immediately turned into spit scientists, claiming the humidity threw off Dak's form. Meanwhile, Eagles fans didn't need evidence. They declared it a felony before halftime. According to them, Dak had just committed football treason live on national TV. You can throw an interception, you can fumble the ball, but spit, that's sacred ground. That's crossing into playground villain territory. A move straight out of the "you disrespected my lunch table" playbook. And yeah, spitting might not break bones, but it breaks something deeper. Pride. Fans started comparing it to legendary NFL meltdowns. Myles Garrett swinging a helmet like Thor. Andre Johnson throwing haymakers midfield. Even that wild moment someone stomped on the Cowboys star.
Remember that car crash incident that you got into in 2023 that ultimately led to you falling to the 9th pick in the NFL draft when you were projected as the #1 overall pick? Nobody thought about that until last night because you fell because of your off-field behavior. People didn't trust you. Now you come on the field and you conduct yourself like that and you listen to radio driving in, and what are people talking about? Well, this was a problem, and obviously this is an on-field.
But somehow this felt different. Slimmer, literally. There's something about spit that just hits harder. It's not violence, it's humiliation. Then came the debate of the century. Did he actually mean to do it? Cowboys Nation swore Dak's too clean cut for that. They painted him as a guy who probably says, "Excuse me," before sneezing. To them, it was all a big misunderstanding. Sweat, bad camera angle, maybe even the ghost of Terrell Owens blowing wind on the replay. But Eagles fans?
1,000 times throughout the game. I mean, especially game day, maybe even in general, and something I guess I'm not proud of. But in that case, he was trolling, I guess you could say, trying to mess with Tyler Booker. I was just looking at him. I was right here by the two linemen, and guess I needed to spit, and I wasn't going to spit on my lineman, and I just spit ahead. But I would say he was back there where Jory was in that sense, and he asked, or he goes, "You trying to spit on me?" And at that point, I mean, I felt like he was insulting me. Like, I wouldn't spit on somebody. I'm damn sure not trying to spit on you. Like, we're about to play a game.
They weren't having it. They screamed it was proof that America's team had officially become America's germs. And while the memes kept flying, the real storm was brewing. The NFL's verdict. Would they dare suspend their golden boy? Because if Dak went down, Dallas's season could implode overnight. Suddenly, words like NFL integrity started trending, mostly from people who conveniently forget this league's been knee-deep in scandals for years. The drama was viral, the tension was electric, and everyone knew this was way bigger than spit now. The league tried to sweep it under the rug, but this mess had legs, and it ran wild. The drama didn't just stay on the turf, it spilled into press conferences, locker rooms, and every corner of social media. Reporters were circling like sharks. Every Cowboys player got hit with the same question: did Dak really spit? And every Eagles player came ready with a sarcastic one-liner that hit harder than a tackle. Fans? They turned the internet into a battlefield. Comment sections were full-blown war zones, Cowboys defenders versus Eagles trolls, and everyone swinging like their Wi-Fi bill depended on it. Nobody even remembered the score anymore. Because at this point, it wasn't football, it was Spit Bowl Sunday. The wildest part? Dak Prescott spent years building his Mr. Clean image. Calm, polished, the model leader parents love to brag about. See, not all athletes are troublemakers. He was the NFL's good guy.
Ultimately, how did the NFL come to this decision to not suspend Jalen Carter for week 2 and saying that, hey, him missing that Cowboys game will serve as his final suspension?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? It is a suspension.
But one blurry clip, one questionable moment, and suddenly he's being memed as Dak the Sprinkler, his spotless image on life support. But zoom out for a second. This isn't just about Dak or Jalen. It's about the NFL itself. This league doesn't just survive on controversy, it feeds on it. From Spygate to Deflategate to Bountygate, and now, welcome to Spitgate. Every scandal is another headline, another debate, another chance to stir the pot. And it's hilarious when you think about it. Baseball players practically spit for sport. Soccer players have spit brawls that go viral. And basketball has had its share of mouthy moments too. But when it happens in football, suddenly it's a national emergency. Maybe it's the helmets making everything look more dramatic. Maybe it's just because it's the Cowboys. And when they sneeze, it turns into breaking news. Or maybe, just maybe, we're all a little too bored between games waiting for the next scandal to spice up Sunday.
It's just time served, is what the NFL is saying, because the spit happened before the first defensive snap for Jalen Carter and for the Philadelphia Eagles, that he effectively was suspended. Of course, he was ejected from that game. The $57,000 and change.
Remind these guys.
And here's the real kicker. No matter what the NFL decides, this moment is already locked in football history. If Dak gets suspended, it'll be proof that spitting is officially a greater crime than missing the playoffs. But if he doesn't, oh, you better believe Eagles fans will scream Cowboys privilege louder than a Philly tailgate speaker. Either way, the memes have already gone eternal, living rent-free on every sports page and meme account across the internet. Maybe, just maybe, Dak learned the golden rule of the NFL. You can throw picks, you can miss passes, you can even choke in prime time, but you can't, under any circumstances, let it look like you spit on someone. That's a career meme waiting to happen. Of course, the NFL couldn't just sip tea and ignore it. Roger Goodell probably sat in his office like a frustrated principal. staring at pixelated screenshots like, am I really investigating spit right now? Imagine that boardroom, a circle of grown adults analyzing freeze frames like it's a crime scene, because nothing screams NFL integrity like having a debate over whether saliva qualifies as violent conduct. And here's the real comedy. You can legally break a guy's ribs with a clean tackle, and that's celebrated as grit. But one rogue droplet touches another player's jersey, and suddenly you're public enemy number one. The hypocrisy is so obvious, it's almost poetic, if it wasn't so predictable.
What you do and how you act stays with you. I don't want to be up here talking about this morning. I don't want this kid's career compromised. I don't want his reputation tainted. I don't want him smeared. But when you spit on a man, when you spit on him on the football field, when you spit on a quarterback and you get yourself ejected before the game, Dak Prescott wasn't sacked once last night.
But the real tension wasn't about whether Dak actually spit or not. It was about what the league would do next. Would they drop the hammer and make an example out of him? Would they fine him half a paycheck for biological misconduct? Or would they, as most fans expected, quietly sweep it under the rug to protect one of their most marketable faces? Let's be honest, the NFL protects its stars like reality. TV producers protect their biggest drama queens. Ratings and jersey sales are the holy grail, and as long as Dak's name sells tickets, they'll bend the narrative to keep that machine running. But even so, just the possibility of a suspension sent shockwaves through Cowboys Nation. Forums lit up like Christmas lights. Fans panicking about backup quarterbacks, playoff chances fading, and the Eagles laughing their way to the division title. Some even threatened to boycott, swearing they'd never buy another $15 stadium nacho again, as if skipping one overpriced snack at AT&T Stadium was going to make Roger Goodell suddenly say,
We didn't anticipate that was going to happen. But it happened because you were out there. You weren't out there, and the Philadelphia Eagles had to adjust to life without their best defensive player. You thought about Chase at all. It was stupid. You walked off the field with a smile on your face. What the hell?
You know what? Never mind. He's innocent. The outrage was epic, the drama unstoppable, and the league once again found itself starring in its favorite reality show, the NFL, where the flags are fake and the scandals are real. What made this whole mess even funnier was how Dak tried to handle it. This is a guy who's built his entire career on being calm, polished, and perfectly brand safe, the type of quarterback who could sell toothpaste between games. But suddenly, he's in the middle of Spitgate, and every move, every word, every micro expression became national news. And here's the wild part. It didn't just hit Dak and Jalen Carter. The ripple spread across the entire NFL like a bad rumor at a high school lunch table. Players from other teams started chiming in, half joking, half dead serious, saying that spitting is a line you don't cross no matter how heated it gets. Coaches began addressing it during team meetings, reminding their guys to keep it clean, which only made locker rooms explode in laughter. Suddenly, every sideline camera was laser focused on lips, zooming in like they were waiting for the next great droplet scandal to unfold. The paranoia was unreal.
The mistake that happened on my side, and it just won't happen again. I feel bad for just my teammates and the fans out there. You know, I'm doing it for them. You know, I'm doing it for my family also. But the fans, you know, they show the most love. You heard them like that today. Just not being able to start the game, even finish the game, just bumped me up.
Every sneeze looked suspicious. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for, the NFL's verdict. It was treated like the announcement of a new pope. Reporters were camped outside the league offices, cameras rolling, fans refreshing Twitter every 2 seconds like their lives depended on it. Cowboys Nation prayed for mercy, while Eagles fans were already planning parade routes in case justice was served their way. And then, boom! The news hit like a halftime Hail Mary. Dak Prescott was officially suspended. Chaos instantly erupted. Talk shows went full panic mode. Sports analysts lost their minds. And headlines screamed as if Dak had been caught running a secret crime ring instead of just launching a questionable missed mid-game. Meanwhile, Eagles fans were absolutely thriving. After years of living in the Cowboys' shadow, all the "this is our year" talk, all the hype, all the spotlight, Philly fans finally had a trophy of their own. Pure, unfiltered Cowboy embarrassment. Forget rings. Forget records. Nothing brings Philly more joy than seeing Dallas fans cry into their star-covered beer mugs. Social media lit up with jokes that Philly should hand out ponchos at their next home game, just in case Dak decided to make another surprise appearance. The internet couldn't get enough, and in that moment, it didn't matter who won the game, because the drama had already won. But oh man, the real entertainment wasn't from the suspension. It was from the memes. The internet went nuclear. Dak Prescott's face got edited onto a llama spitting water, then onto sprinklers watering lawns, even onto fountains in front of luxury hotels.
Dak Prescott spitgate last night. So the Eagles played the Cowboys in the first game of the season, and before the game even started, we had people spitting on each other. You want to take it away?
Yes, I mean, you can see Dak clearly spat. They say he spat at the ground, but he's behind his O-line. But then when he did the little smirk afterwards, I think that's what really got under Jalen Carter's skin. And he probably said something to Dak before he spit back on him. But yeah, when he did spit back on Dak, he spat directly on the shield. And as we know, the first person don't never get caught. We done seen it in the past.
People mixed his game highlights with clips of garden hoses and super slow-mo water sprays. Pure chaos. Fans showed up to games with super soakers taped to their jerseys like it was part of the uniform. TikToks popped up everywhere. Dramatic reenactments with opera music and flying droplets shot in cinematic slow motion. It wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was pop culture history. Dak didn't just get suspended, he got immortalized in meme legend forever. And the funniest twist? Jalen Carter came out of it looking like an accidental comedy icon. The man barely said a word and suddenly he's trending for his facial reactions. Meanwhile, the NFL released those typical, polished statements about professionalism and protecting the integrity of the game, which is hilarious because this is the same league that still can't define what a catch actually is. Yet somehow, they've all become droplet detectives. The ripple effect from Dak's incident stretched way beyond Dallas. Suddenly, every quarterback in the league looked terrified of their own saliva. Cameras caught them swallowing extra hard, looking like they were in a hydration competition on live TV. You could see them pause mid-snap to double-check. No droplets escaping, no slow-mo disasters waiting to happen. Coaches even started reminding players to hydrate responsibly. And the announcers?
Explains the story. It seems that Jalen Carter was talking trash to one of the rookies. Dak went to go see what was going on. They were talking back and forth. He went to go spit in front of him. He didn't want to spit on this lineman, spit on the ground. Jalen was like, "Are you trying to spit on me?" Dak pushed his lineman out of the way to see what was up, and then all of a sudden, Jalen spit on him. When Jalen was interviewed after the game, he didn't really have too much of a story. He just was like, "Hey, I messed up. I was supposed to be there for my team. I apologize to the fans, and it won't happen again." Overall, the whole situation seems silly. I don't necessarily know why you would even think to actually like look nose to nose and then spit on somebody's jersey in front of.
They couldn't resist. Jokes flew nonstop. Looks like Prescott's keeping it dry this week, or better bring out the spit guards. It became the running gag of the entire season. The inside joke that'll live forever in NFL lore. And the fans, oh, they'll never let Dak live this one down. Every sideline camera, every highlight reel, every broadcast, someone's gonna sneak in a reference with that little wink and smirk. His legacy, whether he likes it or not, now comes with one unforgettable asterisk. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes it iconic. The NFL's history books are packed with dark scandals, the kind that wreck reputations, ruin legacies, and shake entire franchises. But every once in a while, there's a scandal so ridiculous, it crosses over from shame to pure comedy, and that's exactly what happened here. Spitgate isn't tragic, it's unforgettable. Because if the worst thing Dak Prescott is remembered for in a league built on bone-crushing hits and billion-dollar egos is a single alleged spit, then honestly, he's doing just fine. From now on, every Cowboys-Eagles matchup will carry that ghost of the moment. The clip, the memes, the madness. Broadcasters will never resist bringing it up, replaying that slow-motion footage like it's part of NFL folklore. Every kid in Philly will grow up hearing the legend of the day Dak Prescott spit at Jalen Carter and got suspended.
What do you think about it?
I mean, that's my first time seeing the clip too. But my thoughts on it, he took accountability for his actions. And since he's been in the league, he hasn't had any kind of disciplinary actions or anything that go against his character. But it shows the growth in him as taking accountability for his actions and not blaming Dak or what Dak did prior to it. He's literally showing he should have had self-restraint, and he let the team down. I acknowledge the fact that he took accountability and he ain't placing blame on nobody but himself. So I think that's
And every kid in Dallas, they'll grow up defending their guy, swearing it was all media bias and jealous rivals trying to take down a Cowboy king, because that's how football works. Legends are born in the strangest ways. Some are made with trophies, others with touchdowns, and some apparently with a single questionable droplet caught on camera. Dak Prescott, once the spotless leader, the poster boy of professionalism, is now forever tied to one of the funniest, pettiest, and most beautifully absurd chapters in Cowboys-Eagles history. And Jalen Carter, he'll forever be the man who dodged more than tackles that night. Because in the end, football isn't just about stats or championships. It's about stories, the ones fans can't stop talking about. And this one's a masterpiece of sports chaos. Hilarious, messy, and totally unforgettable. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next one.